All right, NBA fanatics, welcome to your personalized NBA deep dive.
Your one-stop shop for all things hoops.
I know, right? Keeping up with every game can be overwhelming.
Absolutely. A whirlwind of action night after night.
Exactly, but that's why we're here to cut through the noise and give you the insights that matter.
And why behind those wins and losses.
And speaking of wins and losses, we got to start with Devin Booker last night.
Oh man, what a performance.
37 points, even in a loss to the Trailblazers.
Talk about carrying the team.
He almost single-handedly willed the Suns to victory, it felt like.
You know, it's interesting though, even in a loss, a performance like that can give a team a real boost.
Momentum going forward, a spark.
Exactly. And speaking of sparks,
Oh yeah, today's schedule is electric.
absolutely jam-packed.
Some serious potential for shakeups in the standings.
For sure. And one thing I'm really fascinated by this season is the rise of these young, dynamic teams.
I'm with you there, like the Detroit Pistons rolling into Chicago tonight to face the Bulls.
Coming off a big win against the Mavericks, too.
Huge win, and Cade Cunningham just dropped a career-high 40 points.
Cunningham is the real deal.
He's special, but what's really impressed me about the Pistons is their defense.
Right. Their defensive identity has really taken shape.
They're holding opponents to under 100 points a game in their last 5 outings.
That's a dramatic improvement.
It is what's changed for them defensively.
Well, they've bought into Coach Casey's system, aggressive on-ball defense, quick rotations.
That makes sense.
Plus, Isaiah Stewart has really emerged as that anchor in the paint protecting the rim.
Yeah, he's been a force. So can this stingy Pistons defense shut down Chicago's Nikola Vucevic?
Oh, Vucevic. He could be a beast in the paint.
That's the big question, right?
The Bulls have been struggling to find that consistent offense outside of Vucevic.
So they really rely on him to carry the load.
They do. If the Pistons can limit his touches, force others to beat them, they've got a good chance.
Well, and some analysts have suggested that the Bulls need to use Vucevic more effectively in pick-and-roll situations.
Interesting. You think so?
Yeah, the thinking is it would open up scoring opportunities for him and create space for their shooters.
I see the logic there. Vucevic is a skilled passer. He can be a threat as a roller to the basket or popping out for a jumper.
So diversifying his offensive repertoire makes them tougher to defend.
Absolutely, a real chess match.
Coaches always trying to outmaneuver each other.
That's the game within the game.
All right, let's shift gears to a matchup that just screams upset potential. The Toronto Raptors traveling to LA to face the Clippers.
The Raptors have had a roller coaster season,
To say the least.
but one constant has been Scotty Barnes. He's averaging over 20 points and 8 rebounds a game.
And RJ Barrett has been a solid contributor as well.
Right, but they're facing a Clippers team that seems to be hitting their stride.
James Harden is leading the charge, and Norman Powell has been on fire lately.
Powell has been a revelation, averaging over 22 points over his last 10 games and shooting lights out from 3.
So even with the Raptors' young talent going up against that veteran Clippers team with their deep bench, I don't know. It's a tough ask, for sure. The Clippers present a real challenge, especially with their interior scoring and their defense.
Their defense is no joke.
No, it's not.
Okay, moving on to a matchup that I'm personally excited for. The Cleveland Cavaliers riding a 3-game winning streak, hosting the Dallas Mavericks.
The Cavs are a different beast at home.
Different animal entirely.
23-3 on their home court. That's
Oh.
incredible.
Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, one of the most explosive backcourts in the league.
Oh, they're a problem for any team.
Offensive firepower for days.
But Mavericks have Kyrie Irving.
And he can light it up in a hurry.
Oh, absolutely. But the Mavs are missing Luka Doncic right now.
Sidelines with that injury.
It's a big loss. Without Doncic's playmaking and scoring, they've struggled to find consistency.
Especially on the defensive end.
Right? They've been giving up a lot of points lately.
Can they contain this Cavs offense, though?
It's going to be a tall order. The Cavs move the ball while they have multiple scoring threats, and they play with a lot of confidence, especially at home. Yeah, this is a real test for the Mavs defense.
This is the game they'll need to step up.
Offense versus defense, classic battle.
Always a good one.
All right, let's move on to a game with serious playoff implications. The Philadelphia 76ers going head-to-head with the Boston Celtics.
Ah, a divisional rivalry with a lot of history.
These teams don't like each other.
No, they do not. And both teams are trying to make a statement this season.
Yeah, the Sixers have had their struggles, especially within their division.
3-3 record, not great.
Tyrese Maxey's 42-point explosion against the Nuggets, though that was a much-needed boost for them.
It was reminded everyone what he's capable of.
Yeah, he can take over a game.
But the Celtics are a tough matchup right now. Best record in the league.
They're rolling.
Jason Tatum playing at an MVP level, and Kristaps Porzingis a dominant two-way player.
They're firing on all cylinders. Three-point shooting is deadly. Their defense is stifling.
It's going to be a tough one for the Sixers. They'll need to play near-perfect basketball to get the win.
So you're saying the Celtics are the favorites?
I think so. But the Sixers have the talent to pull off an upset.
If Maxey can keep up that scoring and their role players step up.
It'll be a close one for sure.
All right, let's wrap up part one with a clash of titans. The Milwaukee Bucks looking to rebound from a tough loss as they take on the red-hot Memphis Grizzlies.
Oh, man. Two of the most exciting teams in the league.
Both with championship aspirations.
The Bucks are still one of the top teams in the East, even with that recent slip-up against the Spurs.
Giannis is a force of nature, nearly 32 points and 12 rebounds a game. And Damian Lillard provides that scoring punch as well.
But their defense has been a bit shaky lately.
That's a concern, especially against a team like the Grizzlies, who are playing with so much energy and confidence.
They're on a roll 7 of their last 8.
Jaren Jackson Jr.'s breakout season has been huge for them.
Huge on both ends of the court, defensive versatility, and that ability to stretch the floor with his shooting.
So if the Bucks can't slow him down, it could be a long night for them.
This game is a real test for both teams.
Can the Bucks rediscover that defensive intensity, or will the Grizzlies just keep rolling?
We'll find out soon enough.
What a way to end. Part one, explosive offenses, stifling defenses, star players ready to shine.
It's going to be a night of high-octane basketball.
I can't wait.
Me neither. It's going to be good.
We'll be back soon with part two, where we'll dig deeper into some of the league-wide trends that are shaping this season.
Looking forward to it.
Don't go anywhere.
All right, so we just broke down some pretty exciting individual matchups.
Some great games coming up tonight.
But now let's zoom out a little bit. Look at the NBA landscape as a whole.
The big picture.
Exactly.
Right.
Because there are some bigger trends shaping this season that we need to talk about.
Trends beyond just those individual matchups.
Right. And one trend I find fascinating is the rise of small ball.
Ah, small ball. I've heard that term thrown around.
It's become a bit of a buzzword.
Yeah, but I'm not totally clear on what it means.
Yeah, so essentially it means playing with lineups that feature more guards and wings players who are quick, agile, and can shoot from outside.
So instead of a traditional center, you might see a forward playing the 5 position.
Exactly. The idea is to spread the floor, create mismatches, and play at a faster pace.
So it's less about brute force and more about finesse and strategy.
Precisely. And we're seeing more and more teams embrace this style of play with great success.
Like the Grizzlies, for example.
The Grizzlies are a perfect example. They're one of the most exciting teams to watch, and they don't have a traditional dominant center.
Right. They rely on Jaren Jackson Jr.'s defensive versatility. He can guard multiple positions, and his ability to shoot threes makes them so unpredictable.
Exactly. They're not afraid to go small and exploit those mismatches.
And their success is challenging that old school thinking that you need a dominant big man to win in this league.
It's a changing of the guard in a way.
Speaking of a changing of the guard, we have to talk about the incredible influx of young talent this season.
It seems like every night a new young player is making headlines.
It's amazing. This is one of the most talented young generations we've ever seen in the NBA.
They're fearless, athletic, and incredibly skilled.
We already mentioned Cade Cunningham's 40-point game, but there's also Scotty Barnes, who's been a revelation for the Raptors.
Don't forget about Evan Mobley on the Cavaliers.
Or Franz Wagner on the Magic.
All of these young guys are making significant contributions and proving they're ready to compete at the highest level.
It's so exciting to see this young talent emerge.
It injects a new level of energy and unpredictability into the league.
Yeah.
Keeps the fans on the edge of their seats.
It also creates a really interesting dynamic between those young guns and the established veterans.
Right. Those veterans guys like James Harden and Damian Lillard are having to adapt their games and find new ways to stay relevant.
We're seeing veterans like Harden focus more on facilitating running the offense, while guys like Lillard are still carrying the scoring load, but also embracing those mentorship roles.
It's a beautiful blend of experience and youth making for some really compelling storylines.
Speaking of compelling storylines, we talked a lot about offense in the first segment, but I want to shift gears and talk about defense.
Okay, defense, it seems like it's been making a bit of a comeback this season.
It does, right? For a while, it felt like the league was all about offense, three-pointers, highlight reel plays.
But we're seeing a renewed emphasis on defense, and it's making the game even more exciting, in my opinion.
It's like a chess match out there, teams trying to outsmart and outmaneuver each other on both ends of the court. Why do you think defense is making a comeback?
Well, I think coaches are realizing that you can't win championships solely on offense. You need to be able to get stops when it matters most.
And it's not just about having one or two great defenders. It's about a collective commitment to defense, a team-wide mentality.
Right. Emphasizing hustle communication,
Yeah.
a willingness to sacrifice your body for the good of the team.
Teams like the Celtics and the Grizzlies are really buying into that defensive identity.
Absolutely. They're swarming to the ball, rotating, effectively making it incredibly difficult for opponents to score.
It reminds me of those Detroit Pistons teams of the late 80s and early 90s.
The bad boys.
They were legendary for their defensive prowess. They didn't just beat teams, they demoralized them.
And while we're not seeing that level of physicality in today's NBA, we are seeing teams embrace that same relentless, suffocating defensive mentality.
So we've got small ball young stars on the rise and defense making a comeback. It's a fascinating time to be an NBA fan.
It really is, and I think all of these trends are interconnected.
In what way?
Well, the rise of small ball is partly a response to this influx of talented guards and wings.
Makes sense.
And the renewed emphasis on defense is a recognition that you need to be able to get stops against these high-powered offenses.
So it's like a beautiful evolution of the game.
The NBA is constantly adapting and changing, which is what keeps it so fresh and exciting.
Just when you think you've figured it out, something new emerges that challenges your assumptions.
You have to reevaluate everything you thought you knew.
It's a constant learning process, both for the players and for us fans.
Absolutely, but that's what makes it so much fun.
There's always something new to discover, something new to appreciate.
As long as the NBA keeps evolving and innovating, it will continue to captivate audiences around the world.
Well said. All right, we've covered those big picture trends, but let's not forget about the individuals who make this game so special.
The human element.
Exactly. In part 3, we'll delve into that human side of the NBA, the stories behind the stats, the personalities that make it such a captivating sport.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to it.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to the show. We talked about the explosive matchups, the league-wide trends reshaping the game, but now it's time to get personal.
The human side of basketball.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, it's the stories, the personalities, the triumphs, even the heartbreaks that make the sport so captivating.
It's what makes it real. It's not just about the numbers on the stat sheet.
Right, it's about the people behind those numbers, the
Yeah.
dedication, the sacrifices, the sheer will to compete.
Absolutely. And one theme that's really resonated with me this season is the resurgence of veteran players proving they're far from done.
These guys are not going away quietly.
No, they are not.
Like James Harden with the Clippers, averaging over 21 points and 8 assists a game, he's found a second wind.
What's interesting about Harden's evolution is that he's embraced a new role,
More of a facilitator.
right? A floor general,
Yeah.
using his experience and basketball IQ to orchestrate the offense.
And it's working beautifully. He's still scoring at a high level, but he's also making his teammates better.
It's a testament to his adaptability and his desire to win.
He's not done yet. And how about Damian Lillard on the Bucks, showing that even in a new environment with different teammates, his scoring prowess is still there.
Oh man, he's still a walking bucket.
But it's not just about the points. You can see the leadership he brings to that Bucks team.
Mentoring the younger players, setting an example with his work ethic.
It's like these veterans have tapped into a fountain of youth, playing with a renewed sense of purpose.
A chip on their shoulder, determined to prove they still belong among the elite.
I think it's inspiring for fans of all ages. It shows that age is just a number.
With passion and dedication, you can continue to achieve great things.
These veterans are rewriting the narrative of what it means to age gracefully in the NBA.
They're setting a new standard.
Speaking of defying expectations, we can't overlook Nikola Vucevic's performance for the Bulls.
Vucevic has been carrying that team on his back.
Night after night, he's the epitome of consistency and professionalism.
Even when the team is struggling, he never wavers.
He brings it every single game, puts up big numbers, battles for rebounds, leads by example.
Yeah, he's the heart and soul of that Bulls team.
And even though they're facing an uphill battle in a tough Eastern Conference, his presence gives them a glimmer of hope.
He embodies the spirit of perseverance.
That resilience, that unwavering determination, just as valuable as raw talent.
It's what separates the good from the great.
All right, we've celebrated the players, both young and veteran, but let's not forget about the coaches.
The masterminds behind the strategies.
The motivators who push these players to their limits.
A great coach can transform a team's culture, instill a winning mentality, and maximize the potential of every player on the roster.
Any coaches in particular standing out to you this season?
Well, I've been really impressed with the Cleveland Cavaliers coaching staff. They've done an excellent job of developing that young core.
Creating a system that allows players like Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland to thrive.
You can see the trust and confidence those players have in their coaches.
They're playing with a sense of freedom and creativity, and it's translating into wins.
When players buy into the system and believe in their coach's vision, it creates a synergy that can be unstoppable.
It's a beautiful thing to witness. All right, as we wrap up this deep dive, let's bring it all together. What are the key takeaways, the things we should be paying attention to as this season unfolds?
Okay, first, keep an eye on the continued rise of those young stars.
Players like Cade Cunningham, Scotty Barnes, Evan Mobley, they're the future of the league.
Their development will be fascinating to watch.
Agreed. They're bringing a fresh perspective and a new level of excitement to the game.
Second, the battle for playoff positioning is going to be intense.
Oh, yeah. So many talented teams vying for those top spots.
Every game matters down the stretch.
The intensity is building. We're in for some thrilling basketball in the coming months.
And lastly, never underestimate the power of the human element in this sport.
Those stories of resilience, leadership, the unwavering pursuit of excellence, that's what makes the NBA truly special.
It's what sets it apart.
So as you watch the games, remember, it's more than just points and rebounds.
It's about the individuals, the teams, and those captivating narratives that unfold every night on the court.
You might witness a game-winning shot, a historic performance, a moment of pure basketball magic that will stay with you forever.
That's the beauty of this game, the unpredictability, the drama, the passion.
So keep watching, keep learning, keep diving deep into the world of the NBA, and thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.
Right here on The Deep Dive.